Yo, after watching this shit, I feel like cranking out the Kangol and the shell toes and the tracksuit. Nigga, I'm going all the way back to 77. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews TV Data Netflix Pick. We got a series review today. We're talking about the brand new series that just fucking dropped. It's on some hip hop / drama / musical like shit. It's all comprised into one, and it's been getting a lot of hype and attention. Netflix is behind the shit. They've been dropping all kinds of crazy shit lately. Stranger Things was the last thing, and I like that shit. So I don't know. Maybe they're gonna keep that momentum going. Talking about the new fucking show, The Get Down. Now, The Get Down, like I said, is a hip-hop / drama / musical-inspired show. It takes place in the late 70s of the South Bronx, pretty much where hip-hop was created, and that's where it pretty much starts off at, the whole show. So now let's see if The Get Down is a show that we should get down with and watch, or if it's something that needs to get the hell on up out of here because the shit's fucking whack. Let's talk about the shit. So the show really centers around this cat by the name of Ezekiel, or Zeke. He is a young dude living in the South Bronx right now. He lives with his aunt and his uncle, or his step uncle. I don't fucking know, but he don't live with his parents because they both dead. Some tragic shit. But the point is this, he sort of keeps to himself. He does a lot of poetry writing, and the dude's got bars. He's got rhymes and bars before rhymes and bars were called rhymes and bars. You know what I'm saying? But he rarely ever showcases that stuff. Like I said, he's really to himself, and he's just kind of doing his own thing and just being a kid in the South Bronx, not really too focused on that shit 100%. He also has a love interest in the show who goes by the name of Miley, and she herself does the singing thing, and she's trying to make it big. And Zeke's in love with Miley, but Miley's I kind of like you cool, but she kind of friend zone him. Saying, you cool, but I'm trying to do the singing thing, Zeke, so we can't get together. But he's like, I love you, Miley. And she's like, I don't give a fuck, nigga, fall back. You ain't gonna crush my dreams with that love shit. So, but they like each other deep down. You can see the chemistry there. They be the eyes, I see them meeting, and I'm like, yo, they about to do something serious real quick, real soon. But that's pretty much what the center of the show is about. It really focuses on those two characters, and there's another character by the name of Shao, short for Shaolin Fantastic, who is sort of this graffiti artist / hustler / wannabe DJ dude. He does a little, and then also a kung fu master, but I don't think he really knows kung fu. I think he just watched a lot of fucking movies and tried to imitate the shit. I don't fucking know. They really didn't explain that shit. But he has a real vital role in the life of Zeke as well. And it just kind of sort of focuses all around these three characters, but as well as people surrounded around them. Now, the main aspect of the show is that it really shows about what's happening in the South Bronx during the late 70s, 77 to be exact. Not only musically, but socially and economically and politically. All those events that are happening in that area are showcased on this show. And you can kind of see how it plays the role and affects all the characters involved, especially Zeke and Shaolin Fantastic, or Shao, and Miley and everything like that. And on top of that, you really kind of just see what the events and what was transpiring during that time. And the costume design for this shit is on point. These motherfuckers look straight out the 70s. They got the fros, they got the bell bottoms, the tight ass fucking shirts and shit. And they got the old school cars, the Cadillacs and everything like that, look nice. And the music there is on point, and it just really looks authentic and genuine. On top of that, it really showcases and shows the inception of what is the genre known as hip hop, and not only just the genre of music, but the culture. So you get to see a lot of things like the beginning of what actually DJing and the turntables were, where people would make breaks from other songs and the sampling type thing. On top of that, they got the other aspects of hip hop, the graffiti art. They got a lot of graffiti artists in here, and they show a lot of cool graffiti in here, as well as breakdancing, and of course, rhyming, MCing, wordsmithing. All that stuff is showcased in here. So you have all the elements of hip hop, and you kind of just see how the whole environment and the community and everybody around there thinks of it and how they feel about it. And not only that, just how it sort of becomes this new thing that either people really embrace or they just hate and don't understand. And then you have a character who goes by the name of Francisco Cruz, and he's sort of the political leader of the community. He's trying to really raise up the community, the black and the brown people in South Bronx, and really get them out of this rut that they're in, because a lot of bad shit's also happening in the South Bronx. And then he's trying to really just build it up and make it a new community and a revitalized community. But he's a little crooked himself, so he don't do it, he ain't doing it the legit way all the goddamn time, but his heart means well. And as the show goes on and he gets more influenced and involved in other characters' lives and whatnot, you see he really does have his heart in the right place with some things, and the intention that he has is good, even though he may not go certain like proper ways to do the shit. Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying a lot of good shit about this show, Granddad, so obviously it has to be fucking good, right? And I gotta say the show is very, very good, but there are some glaring things about this show that just really irked me and I just did not fucking like. First of all, the first episode is an hour and a half like long. It's like a fucking movie. And in that hour and a half, they're trying to cram in so much shit. They're trying to cram in every character, every fucking scenario, what's going on. The writing in here is just kind of sloppy. The shooting on here is a little sloppy. The storytelling on here is just so sloppy because they're trying to cram in all this information in an hour and a half so you can kind of get these characters out there and established. But the problem with that is you really don't really get a feel for who these characters were. After the first episode, I really couldn't even remember the name of like most of the characters because they just threw everybody at you. First you got Zeke, and then they throw in Miley, and then they got Shao, but they really don't really show who he really is in the first part. And then you got, you know, Jaden Smith's up in there with an afro. I forget it. I think his name is Rumi, but he's a graffiti artist. And then you got all these other characters. You got, you know, Francisco, and then you got, you know, a whole bunch of other characters that they just throw in here in one episode, and you kind of have to keep up, but they just bounce from topic to topic and plot to plot and theme to theme so quickly that you kind of get lost in the mix. And after the first episode, I was like, I don't know if I like this show because I just couldn't follow all the chaos that they tried to throw in one goddamn time. But as the show started to progress and the other episodes started to go out, it started to make a little bit more sense, but it was like a slow start out the gate. It's like they stumbled out the gate, and then as the episodes went on, they started to pick themselves up and then started to go full steam ahead. But the problem with that is if you watch this show out the gate, you may not like really get or grasp the concept because you got moments where they're like, is this a musical, or is this like a kung fu movie, or is this a drama, or is this a hip-hop documentation, or whatever you want to call it? It's like it's so many things they try to do, and then they just don't execute them well enough for us to really believe or kind of grasp the concept. It isn't until later on when these things start to flesh out and these characters start to flesh out that you kind of understand what they're really trying to go for with this show. And there are some great moments on here acting-wise. The cast on here is really good. I like Justice Smith's character, Ezekiel. Jaden Smith did a good job. Harrison, I fucked up her name, but she is good. She played Miley. She did a good fucking job on here, and she can sing her ass off. She got talent. Sign that girl if you ain't. If nobody signed her, get her a deal because she ready for it. And not only that, but all the other supporting cast, everybody here has their shining moments. Everybody here does a pretty good job. But I do think that the writing on here could have been better on some episodes. I think that the storytelling could have been better on here on some episodes. I feel like it was rushed a lot on some scenes and some things. And it just feels like that everything tries to get just crammed in too soon early on in this show. But as it spaces out, it does progressively get better. So around the end of the series or end of the first part, because it's 2 parts, but they've only dropped the first 6 episodes, it does get better. And then on the very, very last episode of part 1, you get this really cool DJ battle between the Get Down crew, which is, you know, the whole crew of all the main characters, and they're actually being overseen by Grandmaster Flash. Well, he ain't there, but he's there, but he ain't there. He's like, you know, he's like this Grandmaster, like ninja type shit. It's like comes off like that. And then they're going against Cool Herc's Notorious 3 crew, and they have this real big just DJ battle with a crowd of people. People are like break dancing and just partying, and it's a really cool scene. It's an awesome performance, and that performance sort of symbolizes and brings home the whole scenario and situations that all these characters went through. And it's like they all went through their own personal struggles and choices and demons, but it seems like this music, this one thing that's new and fresh and revitalized in the community, has brought them all together in this moment and sort of signifies like a new beginning for everybody and everything. So it's a dope show. It just has a few flaws, and I say I really, really like this show. I didn't love this show, but I really liked it, and I am looking forward to the second part. They only dropped the first part, which was like 6 episodes, and then they're gonna drop part 2 or season 2 if you want to call it next year. So I'm hoping that next year they keep up with the momentum that they had going at the last few episodes of this show, and it spills over and they don't end up like a scenario where it starts off really, really, really sloppy and they had to pick themselves up. If they do that, then this will be a really great show overall. But I did enjoy it. A few things here and there, but the Get Down, I can get down with overall. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that The Get Down is an overall very good show that showcases the inception and the beginning of what is hip-hop culture, but it does suffer for some poor writing and also some scenes in the very first episode that I think could have just been done better, or story could have been told better, and it was just sloppy. All I'm saying is that the cast on here is phenomenal. The music on here is really good. Not to mention Nas, he plays like an older version of Zeke, and he kind of sort of narrates the story through like songs and rhyme, and like 20 years in the future is kind of cool. So that's a cool thing about it too. But I just find that sometimes on this show, like the writing on here, it's just like not that great. It should have been a lot better. The story could have been told a lot better. It felt like they missed some things or left some things out, or then they tried to just do too much too soon, and that just really pulled away from the show being great out the gate, and it had to sort of pick itself up as it went on. And as you got to the end of the goddamn show, that's when things really got to that full momentum, but then you kind of want more, and it just stops right there. So it kind of just halts that momentum, and now we got to wait till the next part to see if they keep it up. So all I gotta say is that for me, The Get Down is not Granddad approved, but I will give it a very highly Granddad recommended. And that's because of what I just said. It's a good show, but it takes some time for it to really find its feet and find its speed. And I just think that if they would have came up with a very, very good first episode, and that hour-and-a-half movie-long fucking episode that was just sloppy as shit, if they would have pulled that together, well, I would have had a great show, and I really absolutely just love this fucking show. But I'm not hating on it. I like it. The hip-hop culture up in here is strong. I like how they show all the elements. I like the fact that they got Kool Herc up in here and Grandmaster Flash. It's a lot of dope drama up in here. It's a lot of action up in here. It's pretty funny at times. The music on here is really nice. So it was a lot of shining moments on here, but it just isn't an absolutely great, 100% amazing show. Indie Spotlight, nigga. Today's Indie Spotlight comes from an artist by the name of Yshwa with no vowels. Nigga said fuck the vowels, don't need them shits. But this is his project. Thank God it's Friday, so it's only fitting with it being Friday that I will promote this shit. And it's a very dope project. He is a rapper slash producer slash singer. He does everything, and he is really good at every goddamn thing. Lyrics on here are really good. The beats on here are fantastic. I really enjoy the beats on here. And, I mean, he can sing too. He can do his little singing thing. Hooks on here could be a little bit better, but I'm just nitpicking. But, you know, I mean, got to give a little constructive criticism if it's there. But overall, it's a very solid project. 9 songs. Definitely check it out. It's some good shit for your Friday. You'll find some dope tracks up on here. I like What They Saying and Dope Man. Those are my favorites right there, but it's also some good shit up in there too. But definitely check out this project. You can click the screen right here and check the shit out. Also, the info is below. And if you are in the Dallas, Texas area, that's where he's staying at right now. If you a rapper or a singer or anything, you looking for some beats, he got beats too. He leases them out. So if you want some fire and you need some beats and some shit, hit up Yshwa. He might hook you up with some shit. Might even get on the track. Might even body you. I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he won't. But you just make choices in life that are smart. That's all I'm saying. But that's all I got to say. Check the shit out. Dope shit up on here. Now, back to the regularly scheduled review. But I got nothing more to say. The Get Down is very highly Granddad recommended. So go check out the shit right now. Flip it. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of The Get Down if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, like I said, it's out right now on Netflix. Get your binge watch on. It is 6 episodes. The first one is an hour-and-a-half long. I'm telling you that again. Don't get surprised when you see the shit. And then the other ones are like an hour long. So you better get a day and just like go ahead and go for it. But if you are a fan of like hip-hop culture and you want to know about the inception of hip-hop and everything about it, check this out. You will really appreciate this show. But from a film slash show standpoint, there are some glaring flaws on there that I really wish would have been just tightened up and done better. And this show could have been a lot better if those things were taken care of. But hey, what are you gonna do? Everybody's not fucking perfect, right? I know I'm not. Neither are the motherfuckers who made this show, apparently. Previous videos on the side as well as my latest single. Check those out, show them some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below, Woolly Reviews, twice a week, CD case studies, also check that shit out, and the gaming channel. And just like in this video, if you want your shit put on the Indie Spotlight, info is below, and I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddad, The Get Down, it's a good show. Could have been better, but it's good. And you know what, like, you know, it's about hip hop, and we all love that shit, so I mean, I ain't gonna get too mad at it, but next time, don't give me an hour and a half of sloppy shit, and then we'll be all right. I'm out of here.